All right, everyone, welcome to another awesome Wednesday night. And today we'll be talking about effective women leaders. So, speaking of which, Renee, our president, will kick us off.
I'm muted. Okay, can you guys hear me okay?
Yes, now we can.
Perfect, thank you. So thank you for joining us at Womanly Toastmasters another Wednesday night, and LEAD stands for Leadership Empowerment Advancement Diversity. More information can be found on womanleadtm.com. We provide bi-weekly theme-based meetings to help you with your public speaking, weekly blog posts, quarterly book selection focused on empowerment, and also exclusive workshop to help you continue to hone in on your skills. And our purpose is to provide a very safe platform to practice public speaking, build future leaders, empower others, find your voice, and share ideas across cultures. Our mission is to empower people like you. And we have a dedicated women leadership team and founding team, and you can learn more about us on our About Us page. I'll share the link in the chat window here. Last week, we were awarded with 2 awards from the District 101 during the Division D contest. Marvelous March, which is an award for Renew membership. So we're a newly chartered club, and that's how we got that award. The second award is Reboot, Refuel, and Rebuilt, which is an award for our open house efforts. So thank you many of those who actually have contributed to that open house. And our member, Lakshmi, also took home 2nd place as the winner in Division D International Contest. Let's give her a round of applause. And more details about all of these awards can be found on our District 101 webpage here as well. Now, we will be entering into the District PR Award, and here is a quick link. One of the items is actually to put together a newsletter that Vicky is going to be the person in charge to help with that. So I'm going to stop sharing screen real quick, and when I count to 3, if you could just put on the most beautiful style that can make it into our newsletter, that will be awesome. All right, ready? Okay, I'm going to count to 3. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Look into the camera. Say cheese. Lakshmi, say cheese. Cheese. All right. And let's do another one. That's a fun one. Raise your hand, make some funny faces. All right. We're a fun group and we love every Wednesday nights. Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3. Cheese. Awesome. All right. Thank you guys. Vicky will be very, very happy. Awesome. And now let's head into the evening. Thank you everyone for participating. And our theme for the evening is effective woman leadership. Nancy Pelosi says it very well. Women are leaders everywhere you look, from the CEOs who runs a Fortune 500 company to the housewife who raised her children and heads her household. Our country was built by strong women, and we will continue to break down walls and defy stereotypes. I agree with her. Now that we have more than 40 women as Fortune 500 CEOs and more to come, and many of us are triple duty, working from home or living at work. And of course, it's not just for men and women, but also men as well. You're strong and you're valued. Thank you all for all you do. And here's our agenda for today. You may find it on our webpage, and also the webpage meeting link is here, pasted in a chat window. If you just navigate into that webpage, there's an agenda link right there. For those of you who may be your first time actually joining us, you can find the meeting rules and break it down in details right here. And you can also find it in our toolbox on our webpage as well. And now I would like to turn the meeting back to our Toastmasters of the evening, Samantha. Thank you.
Thank you, Renee. So we'll first kick it off. I'm going to call upon each of our role bearers to explain the purpose of their roles. Helen, could you please explain the role of the General Evaluator?
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster. The General Evaluator takes a look at all aspects of the meeting, and at the end of the meeting presents a summary of how the meeting went and how each of the roles were carried out by our members. This evening, we're having 3 speeches and 3 evaluators. I will be evaluating how well the evaluators did in giving encouraging and helpful and challenging responses to the speakers. Thank you, Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you, Helen. Deepa, can you please give us the leader profile of the day? She here? Okay, I will. Oh, no, there she is.
Deepa, you are on.
Trying to turn my mic on without using my hands. And let me tell you, it was a frustrating and, as you already saw, a very futile experience. The leader profile for today and the reason for why I was trying to use or trying to turn on the mic without using my hands or using my legs to turn it on is the reason why she is the leader profile. Her name is Jessica Cox. Jessica Cox was born with a genetic disorder, which meant that she did not have hands when she was born. At the age of 11, she decided to not use prosthetics and use her legs to do all the activities that you and I would do with our hands. That included driving a unmodified car with an unrestricted license. It meant pumping your own gas at the gas station. It also meant changing the contact lenses for her eyes. She is also a certified scuba diver. The reason I consider Jessica Cox a leader is because she inspires people to be resilient in the face of challenges. She is the only person who is in the Guinness Book of Records to have a valid pilot license, who can ride a plane without hands. She is also a 3rd degree Taekwondo belt holder. She's all of 38 years of age and is an extreme and has made motivational speaking and inspiring folks with her life journey as her motto of her life. Here's to Jessica Cox. Thank you.
That's great, Deepa. I loved the intro. Next, we have Sujin. Can you please explain the role of AHA counter?
Hi, I'm today's art counter. The purpose of an art counter is to note words and sounds that are used as a crutch or pause filler by anyone who speaks. During the meeting, I will listen for overused words, including and, well, but, so, and you know. I will also listen for filler sounds, including and I also note when a speaker repeats a word or phrase. At the end of the meeting, I will report the number of times that each speaker used these expressions. Thank you, Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you, Sujin. Vicky, can you please explain the role of the grammarian and give us the word of the day?
Hi, this is Vicky. I will be today's grammarian. My role is to introduce the word of today and also monitor language and grammar usage for all speakers, noting incomplete sentences, mispronunciations, grammatical mistakes, and etc. So the word of today is audacious, or as an adjective, and audacity is the noun. So it has a very positive meaning. in that it means a willingness to take bold risk. And it also have a not so positive meaning, meaning rude or disrespectful behavior. Back to you, Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you, Vicky. Next, Sai, can you please explain the role of the timer?
Greetings, Toastmasters and guests. For today's meeting, I'll be the timer. I'll be timing out all your prepared speeches, evaluations, and table topics. For prepared speeches, 4 to 6 minutes is the allotted time, and I'll be using the virtual backgrounds to display the colors. For 4 minutes, I'll be displaying the green card. If it went into 5, I'll be displaying the yellow, and for 6, I'll be using the red. For evaluations, it is 2 to 3 minutes. 2 minutes, it's green. 2.5, it's yellow, or 2.5, it's yellow, and 3 minutes, it's red. For table topics, it's 1 to 2 minutes. 1 minute is green, 1.5 is yellow, and 2 minutes is the red. Thank you. Back to you, Toastmaster.
Thank you, Sai. That concludes our introduction of the roles. Next, we will go to the speeches. Our first speaker will be Sarah. Priya, could you please give the objective of Sarah's speech?
Sarah is going to speak from the motivational strategies pathway, level 2, and she's going to use her communication style to express how we can use it effectively. Back to you, Toastmaster.
Thank you. For those of us who are not yet leaders, we can first become an effective follower. Sarah Tang, be an effective follower. Be an effective follower, Sarah Tang.
Today, we are talking about leaders. But what about followers? As a soon-to-graduate student of traditional Chinese medicine, people often ask me, are you going to start your own clinic? My response is, no, not yet. I'd rather follow a more experienced practitioner first. Our club leader, Renee, told me that effective leaders must first learn to be effective followers. This is a nice way to put it. Followers are just leaders in training. Lately, I've been honing my following skills as a front desk assistant for my professor. This involves learning how to communicate effectively with my professor. Today, I'll share what I've learned so far as a follower. I've learned that my communication has to be efficient, clear, and individualized. Efficient communication means that you avoid interrupting your leader unless it's really important. In the clinic, my professor is constantly multitasking. He's a practitioner, a teacher, a business owner, and even a nonprofit director. Seeing 3 patients in one morning makes me tired, but he's able to see 15 patients in one morning. He's constantly in and out of treatment rooms, in his office, and he even has a group of associates following him around and learning from him. Even though he seems like a Superman, I don't want to tax his bandwidth. So if I have an issue, I type it into the group chat, so that way he can check at his own convenience. Effective communication also means that I try to solve my own problems and answer my own questions. If I have an issue, I do some detective work on my own. If no luck, I check with a teammate, and lastly, my professor. This is a good practice in general, but it's also really important to help support your leader. Your leader already has so many things competing for their time and their attention, and you don't want to add to that burden, or worse, their burnout. In fact, you want to help lift that burden off their shoulders. Clear communication means that you prioritize clarity and you're not afraid to speak up to prevent misunderstanding or mistakes. When listening to your leader, it's helpful to repeat and to paraphrase what they say back to them. This helps you to process what is being said, and it helps them to know that they're communicating what they want to communicate. It's also especially important if English is their second language, as is the case with my professor. He has a tendency to speak fast and mumble his words. So I like to repeat what he says just to make sure I heard him correctly. This is usually quite helpful, although there was one time he thought I was arguing with him. He said to me, "Don't be so casual. When you ask a patient to come to the room, say please." I said, "So you want me to be formal and ask, please come to room 5. He said, "Don't you know this? Don't they teach you this at school?" I took a breath. I was just trying to make sure I understood. Also, don't be afraid to ask questions for clarification. It's worth troubling your leader to repeat themselves and explain rather than risk mistakes and misunderstandings later. Even if the rest of your team is nodding, like they get it, it's worth asking because there might be unseen issues or misunderstandings. And even if your team is nodding, like they get it, it doesn't mean they got it. So it's worth asking. Individualized communication means that you're sensitive to your leader's communication style and you adjust accordingly. My professor's communication style is very direct. He likes being results-oriented and he wants things done ASAP. Because of this, he often comes across as a little bit impatient and maybe a little demanding, especially when he's stressed. For me, my communication style is more of an initiating style. I prefer a more personal work environment. However, I acknowledge our differences. I skip the small talk. A smile and a good morning is good enough. And when I speak to him, I try to stay on point and avoid over-explaining or rambling with extraneous details. Whether we're leaders or followers, we'll always encounter many different communication styles. Effective communication will bridge that gap between leaders and followers. What's important is that we share the same vision. A leader doesn't have to be perfect, but the best leaders will communicate a vision worth following, and the best followers will follow the vision. Effective communication bridges the gap between leaders and followers. It should be efficient, clear, and individualized. Efficient communication means that you avoid interrupting others' focus and that you're proactive about answering questions and solving problems on your own. Clear communication means that you prioritize clarity. You have the audacity to ask questions for clarification so that you avoid misunderstandings down the line. Individualized communication means that you're sensitive to people's communication styles and you adjust, you accommodate. These are all communication skills worth practicing, whether you're a follower, a leader, or a leader in training. Thank you.
Thank you, Sarah. That was great. Can I get a minute from the timer? And can everyone please fill out the evaluation form I sent for Sarah's speech?
Yep.
Thank you, Sai. Our second speech today is Jennifer Filson. Lakshmi, can you please give the objective of the speech?
Good evening, everyone. Jennifer's pathway is Presentation Mastery, Level 4, Managing a Difficult Audience. Timer, she has 10 to 15 minutes to complete the 5 to 7 minute speech and respond to the disruptors. Back to you.
Thank you. Jennifer Filson is the owner of Rockstar Marketing, a leading content marketing agency that serves small businesses around the country. She frequently teaches marketing classes in virtual and in-person events. Jennifer is a longtime member of the Bayview Toastmasters in Monterey and a new member of Women Lead. This will be her first speech for our club. Jennifer Filson, what should small businesses be including in their website? What should small businesses be including in their website? Jennifer Filson.
Thank you so very much, Tabletop or Toastmaster. Thank you, everybody. Welcome. I love to teach marketing and I welcome an interactive group. What I would like to do is share with you what you really need to include in your website. If I can see a show of hands, how many of you own your own business or do sales for your business? Show of hands. Excellent. Excellent. Thank you so much for participating. And if you have the audaciousness to go ahead and start your own business, as I would encourage you, Miss Sarah, you did a great job. Whenever you open up your practice, this message is for you as well. All right. Before I begin, let me give you a little bit of background. I didn't just walk around, start calling myself a rock star. I am an honest to goodness, Grammy qualified, bona fide certified rock star. It's a very strange thing. If this middle class white woman from the suburbs who started in her late 30s getting into being a rock star can do it. Yes,
I really thought that you're going to have some rock concert here. Why did you change it? I was hoping for that.
Thank you, Lakshmi. I love you. If you can see this, I do have my bass and my drum behind me. Later on, maybe I'll give you a drum roll, but that'll be another time, my darling. Anyway, let's give you some background. So yes, I did in 2007 and 2009, I created 2 albums. I did it on my own. It was a lifelong dream. At age 6, I wanted to be a rock star. And I grew up in Florida in the 1970s. There's no internet. And if you wanted to be a rock star, you had to either live in Los Angeles or New York, somewhere big city, and do what you wanted to do. It wasn't until my 30s when I had many years of being a sales and marketing professional that I decided to create my first 2 albums. And I submitted my music into the Grammys, just, wondering what would happen. And I found that there was this new thing going on. It's called social media. And in 2007, the social media platforms that were dominating were MySpace and this brand new thing called Facebook and another brand new thing called Twitter. I was one of the pioneers in using social media marketing to promote not only my music, but also the construction company that I was working for at the time. Thus, my journey to becoming Rockstar Marketing. So that's a little bit of the history. It was not always easy. I certainly did not make my money back on my music. However, what I did was I established credentials as—
Renee, how was your shot today? Did you take the shot today?
It was really good. I got nicer.
Oh, wow. Nice.
Are you?
That's
What was
awesome.
the line?
Hey guys, if you don't mind, if you would do me a favor and put yourself on mute, I apologize. I got my shot too. We'll talk about that later, possibly in the Q&A. I think it'd be really cool to talk about that further. Thank you, my dears. Anyway, let's talk about the 5 components to a successful website. This is one of the things I teach in my class. There are a lot of websites that lack common things. And I know it's hard to believe that in 2021, but I want to tell you 5 components that will really not only benefit you and your sales conversions, but also your audience. And this will be helpful for anybody who even isn't their own business person, but if you are interacting with clients, you can certainly talk to your website group about doing this. So point number 1, I want to make sure that you are telling the story of your business. Storytelling is the best marketing, right? Sarah told a story about what she's doing in her practice and how she communicates. When we understand our whys, when we understand what makes us special and unique, when we understand who our target demographic is, we don't sound generic. And when we sound generic and we look and smell and act and taste and appeal to like everyone else, it does not make sense. We look like our competition. If I may ask, how many of you can tell the difference between a boy and a girl penguin? Can anyone tell the difference between a boy and a girl penguin? Hands? Anyone? Type in the chat. Yes, I can. No, I can't. Okay, great. I used to volunteer at the Monterey Bay Aquarium. If they did not have their little arm badge, if they did not have the color and their name, I would have no idea who these penguins are. That is how you look to the people who are seeking you out. If you don't stand out amongst the competition, you are going to look like everyone else and they're going to have a hard time remembering you. So it's very important. If you can write this down, if you take away anything from point number 1 of the 5 components, spell out what makes you special and unique. That is how you're going to find your tribe. Okay. Point number 2, make sure that you have your contact information on there. How many of you get crazy if you cannot find a phone number or an email of the people you are seeking on that website, right? Drives me nuts. By the way, full disclosure, my husband is revamping jenniferfilson.com. Guess what? The information was not on there. I'm like, put that on there. Get my phone number on there. Point number 3, make sure that you have videos showing what you do, how you do it. Educate them, entertain them, engage them. It is super important that you use videos in your marketing efforts, and that's the best place to put it on your website. Yes, you could put it on YouTube. Yes, you could put it on TikTok.
The penguin
question? Yes.
In real life,
Pardon?
I love penguins.
Penguins are amazing, aren't they? And it's so important that we don't look like them. We need to make sure that we stand out, right? If anything, put a bow tie on that penguin, right? That's what you should be doing in your website. You want to make sure that you stand out. So if you want to, hey, tell you what, if getting a vaccine shot or if talking about penguins is something to do with your business, guess what? You should make a video out of it. Maybe you can educate them about what do penguins eat. Maybe you should talk to them, Abhijit, about the vaccine and how important it is to get that. It's super important. And there's a certain level of audaciousness that people love when they get to know you through video. Point number 4, make sure that your content on your website has a lot of keywords that are appropriate to what your business is, because here's the deal. When you have keyword rich content, they can find you, and you want to make a net that can catch as many fish. So instead of just having 10 piddly pages on your website, go for 90 pages. That's going to get you a bigger net. Then make sure, last point 5, have a call to action. You've got their attention. Now tell them what to do next. Super important.
Oh, so, but Jennifer, don't you want to put all the stuff that you offer on the website? I mean, we got services, and we can change your oil, and we'll clean your kitchen, and
exactly.
Rugs,
Karen, you brought up a beautiful point. Thank you for bringing that up, my darling. You're absolutely right. You want to make sure that all of your services are listed on your website, so anyone looking for you can find you. So let me wrap this up. Let's restate it. First thing, make sure that you have original content, 100% original content. Number 2, make sure your contact information's on there. Number 3, videos showing them what you're doing. 4, load it up with keyword rich content. And 5, call to action. As a result of our work, we help businesses reach their next $1 million. If you would like to learn more, I'm having a summit coming up in March, and I'll put it in the chat so you can sign up and register. It's free. Thank you, Madam Toastmaster. I appreciate you all.
Thank you, Jennifer. That was great. Timer, can I get 1 minute on the clock so we can all fill out the evaluations for Jennifer's speech?
Sure. And we are done with our 1 minute time.
Thank you. Our last speech for today is Abhijit Joshi. Jojo, could you please give the objective of his speech?
Thank you, Samantha, Madam Toastmaster. It is my great pleasure to bring you our distinguished speaker tonight. Abhijay is on the pathway of presentation mastery. He is currently at level 2, and today he is going to use body language to deliver a speech. Let's go to the bank. Back to you, Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you, Jojo. Abhijit Joshi, let's go to the bank. Let's go to the bank. Abhijit Joshi.
Hello, Raj. Let's go to the bank. I need $5,000 urgently. When is a good time for you? Afternoon works. My fellow Toastmaster, Sarah, who overheard my conversation, was appalled. She said, "Oh, I would have never said it that way. If I had to say it, I would have said, 'Hello, Raj. How are you? How are the little munchkins doing? I was wondering if you could help. I need $5,000 urgently. Do you think you could help me?' Sarah assumed that my communication style is direct. This style is competitive, confident, decisive, and independent. I believed her until I took the quiz. The quiz revealed that my dominant style is indeed initiative. This style is social, spontaneous, energetic, and enthusiastic. The examples of my communication style flashed in front of my eyes like a movie. One incident stood out. It was September of 2019. Don't tell this to anyone, but I do have a travel genie. The travel genie told me that for 5,000 American Airlines points, I can get from California to Australia. It is like for $50, I can get from San Francisco to Sydney. I could see myself scuba diving in the Great Barrier Reef, looking at the pink and the purple corals. Or just sitting on the grass and watching the India versus Australia cricket match. Or just looking at the baby kangaroo in the mother's pouch. I had a whopping 35,000 points. I could even take my brother with me. But the genie warned that I just have 1 hour to book the flight ticket. It was 5:30 p.m., an hour and a half for my brother to come home. I decided to give him a call. "Hey, Akshay, let's go to Australia." What? Do you have a plan? Plan? We could stay at our cousin's place for 2 weeks. Let me think about it. I will get back to you. I was ready with our itinerary. I just had to press the submit button. The time ran out. What happened? It was such a fantastic opportunity. A deal like this is very rare. I was sad and disappointed. This incident inspired me to find the answers. After doing some research, I came across an article by Aubrey Blanche. She shares tips about navigating various communication styles which are different from mine. After reading her article, I realized I was doing the same mistakes she was recommending to avoid. This was a big revelation for me. My brother's communication style is supportive. This style is gentle, approachable, sincere, steady, and calm. The person with this style dislikes changes and may often come across as indecisive. I made a mistake of rushing him to make the decision. I made a mistake of not having a plan when he needed a plan. I made a mistake 2 times. Now I was curious. Why did it work with Raj? After requesting Raj to take the quiz, it was indeed revealed that his communication style is also initiative. We both thrive on interpersonal relationships and are emotionally sincere. I approached him with enthusiasm and friendliness. These traits worked for us. About that, Raj and I have been friends for over 5 years, going through the ups and the downs of life. After ruminating over my mistakes, I have come to a realization that I cannot just call you and say, let's go to the bank, but approach you depending upon my communication style and your communication style. What about you? How do you approach your communication with other people? I would like to encourage you to look at your communication style and the communication style of the person you are trying to communicate with. This might help you to avoid the pitfalls which Aubrey Blanche outlines in her article and have a strong and lasting relationship. Toastmaster.
Thank you, Abhijit. Timer, can I get 1 minute on the clock so we can all fill out our evaluation forms for Abhijit's speech?
Sure. Timer starts now.
Now, right, as Sujaya
And we are done.
Thank you, Sai. Next, we will move on from our speeches. We have a special interview with Lakshmi about her recent contest wins. I will just ask Lakshmi a few questions. Lakshmi, how was your experience preparing for the contest?
How was my experience preparing for the contest? It was a different kind of experience. I mean to say that I used to take part in competitions when I was a kid, but then there was a long period of basically not taking part in competitions or anything like that. So it was again a new feeling. I enjoyed each and every moment of it. It was basically like what we do for our regular speeches, but little more. I had to put a little more effort after I won the club competition. Then after that, I had to practice a lot more. That's it.
Lakshmi, could you turn on your camera for us?
Oh, sorry. I didn't realize that.
That's okay.
Okay.
So what was the most difficult thing when preparing for the contest?
Most difficult things, it's obvious. There were two things. First one was I'm practically blind without my glasses. And when I was practicing, especially at the end, it was like Abhijit told me, you have to practice at least 13 times a day. Imagine, I'm looking at that camera for all the 13 practices. My eyes were really tired. That was one. The second one, surprisingly today they are not barking, but I have two dogs. I don't know how they know when to bark, especially when I am in that mood, right? When I'm talking about my tragedy in life, they'll be barking behind and my thoughts will get disrupted. That was only two. Those were the two things that was difficult. That's it.
Yeah, it's hard with all the noises. How did Women Lead Toastmasters help you?
Women Lead Toastmaster. See, from the very beginning, of course, Abhijit was there. He was the mentor. He helped me with, polishing my speech. And then everybody, Shobha, you, Renee, Khushbu, everybody came and helped me with it. I got an email from Karen saying, okay, you can take part here, take part in the other Toastmaster group. You can come and attend those meetings. Abhijit was always there. Okay, there's a spot available there. Go and speak there. So I felt that it was a combined effort of all the people at Women Lead who helped me. Samantha, I know you by-hearted my speech because she was my Zoom buddy for nearly a month.
Yes, I was reciting the speech with you on your the area contest.
Yeah.
So my last question is, how many script changes did you go through with your speech?
Script changes, almost like I actually started the speech as something different. It was a speech meant for gratitude, a speech where I was offering my gratitude to my teacher and Toastmaster groups, actually. That was the way I started it. Then Abhijit said, make some changes. And then he said, it's ready for contest speech. After that, every week, I think I was changing the script. So you can say that I would have changed it. There was no character Annabelle in the beginning, but at the end, we had a character by the name Annabelle. Then, there was a lot of changes. So weekly once we were changing it.
That's crazy. Thank you, Lakshmi, for answering those questions. We're next going to go to table topics. So I will now hand over the table topics to our table topics master, Madhu.
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster. Hope you can hear me. Okay. I'll be the table topics master for today. This is the portion of the meeting where we get to hone our impromptu public speaking abilities. Each participant will get 1 to 2 minutes to answer a question that I pose. And my questions today will be based on our theme, which is effective women leaders. So let's get started. My first question is, what are the qualities you would look for in a leader before following them? Let me ask Karina. Do you think you can answer the question? Karina Hahn?
Yes, sure. Can you repeat the question one more time?
Sure. What are the qualities you would look for in a leader before following them?
Thank you so much. What are some qualities for a good leader that I would want? Definitely somebody who is inspirational. We want somebody who has really great energy, somebody who has poise, somebody who's a good listener. But at the same time, I think that you also need somebody who is willing to step aside and let you lead and let you make your mistakes so that you can learn from those mistakes and really find your voice. I think those are really important for a leader, as well as obviously it's also really important to have clear goals, to really be able to bring together different people from different backgrounds and to come together and really just innovate and bring teamwork together. So I think those are really key things in looking for a leader. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Karina. Could the timer provide us with the timer backgrounds at 1 minute, 1.5 minutes, and 2 minutes?
Sure. I was thinking to display the green at 1 minute. So it was around 57 seconds.
Okay. So I couldn't see the screen, so I just wanted to ensure that you were changing the background. Thank you. So I have a fun question next. So every Toastmaster meeting here, we go over a leader profile, right? My next question is, if someone was to make you the subject of the leader profile, what would you want them to say? And Karen, this question is for you.
If somebody was to make the mistake.
We can't hear you, Karen.
No?
Okay, now we can.
Oh, okay, good. All right, sorry. Some days I don't hate, technology doesn't like me. Other days it's okay. So if somebody made the mistake of putting me on a leader profile, what would you want them to say? You know, I think one of the most important characteristics of a leader is the ability to reach out and pick people up when they really, really need it. Because, you know, it's when you're on the floor and before you've even looked up to go, did anybody see me fall? That you really need somebody to put their hand down and say, let me help you out. And it's that starts relationships that you can then build and build additional leadership characteristics into people and mentor people. But without that really clear, trusting connection, you won't grow and you won't be able to transfer the leadership. So the whole goal of the leadership game is to transfer the leadership out of people into other people and show them how to lead. I had one Toastmaster I was mentoring and he told me a funny story. He says, you know, and then the guy did this and then he yelled at everyone. And I said, oh, well, what did you do? And he says, well, then when I did it, I did the same thing. I yelled at everyone because that's what a leader does. Because that's what my leader had done for me. And I said, oh, okay, we can stop right here now and let's talk about this, right? Because how does that work for you? Did you get good results? And most of the time we will go, no, it didn't work well at all. I said, yeah, well, it's because we find it doesn't really work. So you need to try many other things that you can try. And then you can move on into a conversation like that. So I guess that's what I'd hope that they'd say about me. Thank you.
Thank you, Karen. So we have time for one more question. So my question is, what are the qualities you would, sorry, that I already went over. So tell us about an effective leader that you have met and how they inspired you. This question, let me see. Liz Bulden, do you think you can answer this question?
Hi, yes, sure, thanks.
Hi, Liz.
So the question, just to reiterate, is what are some qualities that what's a quality?
Who is a good leader you have met and what inspired you in that leader?
Sure. So I have had, I guess, the pleasure to have both good leaders and leaders that were leaders, I guess, in both directions that have made me understand leadership from both directions. I think any conversation defining anything really comes from a polarized experience and sort of extracting trends, learnings from those experiences. And so I think, I've certainly had a handful of people who have really inspired me in different ways. And I think, even within my own Toastmasters journey, I have and I will turn to different people for different things. And in seeking even the answer to one question of growth, oftentimes you're not going to find the answer in one person. It is in the concert of people, it's in the community. And I think for me, if I've really learned anything, it's in looking at leadership that way, not putting everything, not hedging all your bets on one person, and also not having other people hedge all their bets on you. And I think that for me, that's the beauty of the community and what makes it so important. I mean, I think, if I've learned anything about leadership, it's that, it's always like one person can take you so far, and it's about having a nice experience. But when I did move out here to California, just to wrap it up, I did have a strong female leader in my first job here, and I remember looking to her and saying, I've never felt so well received and well protected in your guidance. And so she's always sort of stood out for me as one of the strongest female leaders I've had the pleasure of knowing in my career. So, thank you.
That's great. Always good to hear good experiences with leaders, I guess. Thank you. Back to you, Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you, Madhu. We will now move on to our evaluation section. So I will hand over the meeting to our general evaluator, Helen.
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster. And great hearing those stories from the table topics. Moving on to our evaluators. This evening, our first evaluator is Sarah, is being evaluated by Priya. Priya, please give us your evaluation of Sarah's speech.
Thank you, General Evaluator. Sarah, I noticed that you had a very audacious attempt at describing a follower. It is not easy to do, but I like the way you started. You said that followers should have communication that is efficient, clear, and individualized, because different followers have different methods of following the communication. You did a good job with your gestures, where you said lift up the spirits of the follower. And you also did a good attempt at role play, where you were talking to your professor for getting directions, and how the professor told you to be sensitive to the patients that are coming in and tell them that use proper kind words to respect them and bring them in. So I think that worked very well, and you could connect to the audience in that. Your communication style had, for sensitive communication, was brought out very well. I would like to see more of organization in your speech. You spoke about efficient and clarity and sensitive communication. But efficient communication, you went back and forth after explaining clarity. So I think you can put those points all together, where you said you wanted more efficient communication, all the points together, clarity all together, and individualized all together. But with respect to other points in your delivery, I loved your speech quality and your details in each of your adjectives were very well utilized. So keep up the good work, and I would love to see more of your communication style coming through. Back to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you so much. It was wonderful. Moving on now to our second speaker, and Jennifer, and her evaluator is Lakshmi. Lakshmi, please evaluate the speech you heard this evening.
Jennifer, congratulations on that beautiful speech. You are really a professional speaker. I like the way you incorporated Sarah's speech into your speech. That was really amazing. You were able to quieten the audacious audience calmly. When I interrupted you, you paused respectfully, answered me, and gracefully continued with your speech. Your flow of thoughts were never interrupted, even after Karen argued with you. That was amazing. I would have enjoyed it a little bit more if you had given more time to Deepa and communicated a little more with her. The best part was, of course, when you laughed and joined Abhijit and Renee in their conversation about the vaccine. But you continued with the speech after asking them politely to stop the discussion. I kept checking if you counted all the points in the correct order from 1 to 5, and you did it. You never missed a number. It was like somebody interrupted you, but then you remembered, okay, that was the second point. Now I have to go to the third point. You did it amazing. That was really good. And I did not see you getting agitated even once. To summarize, you just rocked, Rockstar. The speech flowed beautifully from the beginning to the end, even though there were so many interruptions. You did really well. Thanks for the lovely speech. Back to you.
Thank you. That was a wonderful summary of both the disruptors and the smooth delivery. Yes, it was really well done. Thank you. Our final speech was by Abhijit, and Abhijit's evaluator is Jojo. Jojo, please evaluate Abhijit's speech this evening. Thank you.
Thank you. Amazing, Abhijit. You know, when I received your project today, effective body language, I do feel this is really a big challenge. Why? Because you know you can only use a very constrained space in the virtual meeting environment, and you can only use limited space as much as possible. As an audience, I can see you use every corner of this small window, try to deliver the effective speech. So I need to give you a big applaud. And this is also a very audacious speech as well. So you are very excellent at few points I can mention, not only just few. That's really a good speech. Great opening. You brought audience right into your situation by talking a friend and start your story. In the very beginning, you didn't stay in the middle because that's what audience expect the speaker will do, but you just stay aside. You stay in the right-hand side and creating a surprise and great audience attention right away. Facial expression, you maximize the richness of your facial expression. When you are angry or dubious, you frown and you roll your eyes. And also when you show your happiness, you also smile. You have a very richness of your facial expression. I particularly love your hand gesture and movement. You use a different variety of hand gestures to amplify your story, like from San Francisco to Sydney, 1, 2, 3. When you describe a person's personality, you say confidence, sincere, and such. And movements, you close the camera when you want to emphasize a point. And they also create a very a strong connection with the audience as well. And sometimes you also lower your position when you want to say something really, when you want to create a drama to connect to your next pass. You may want to work on that. One thing I will say that probably the voice, in some sentences, I feel the voice or tone doesn't go well with your body language, but I need to say that it's really hard. It's not easy. Or for example, that when you said that this is a fantastic opportunity, you can try to emphasize somewhere like this is a fantastic opportunity. Or when you say that, how about you? You can use more challenging sound or gesture like, how about you? And use your gesture, your facial impression, and also your eyes. So lastly, I'm going to challenge you on that. Once we can meet in person, my biggest wish is you can deliver this speech in person on the stage. I believe the stage will give you more space to make a story more dramatic. And I also believe you will be the great stage performance. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Jojo. That was a great evaluation. I'd now like to call on our timer, counter, and grammarian to give their reports. Timer, would you please let us know how we did on each of the speeches and the table topics?
Sure. For prepared speeches, I have adjusted the timing to be 5 to 7 minutes as because I just got a ping from Abhijit and people saying that it's changed to 5 to 7 minutes. So I've adjusted that. For Sarah, it's approximately 5.5 minutes. And for Jennifer, it's 7.5 minutes. For Abhijit, it's 5.5 minutes. And coming to table topics, for Karina, it's approximately 1 minute. For Karen, it's 1.5 minutes. And Liz, it's over 2 minutes. For the evaluators, Priya, it's a bit less than 2.5 minutes. And Lakshmi, it's approximately 2 minutes. Jojo, it's more than 3 minutes. That's all. Thank you. Over to you, Toastmaster.
Thank you so much. Appreciate that. I would like to now hear from our counter.
Okay, yeah, I will share today's report. Sarah has 1 yeah, and that's it. And Jennifer has 2 tongue clicks and 2 repeats. And Abhijit, Karina had none. Karen has 1 so. Liz had 1 4 arms and 1 you know. Priya has 1 and 3 And Lakshmi has none. And Jojo 1 1 you know, 1 repeat. That's it. Thank you.
general evaluator.
Thank you so much. Let's move on now to our grammarian and the audacious word of the day. How do we do?
Thank you. Today, to the people who mentioned our word of the day includes Sarah, Priya, Lakshmi, and Jennifer. Jennifer actually mentioned it twice. Very well done. And some of the grammatical mistakes that I catch includes, the first one is repeat the question one more time. So repeat already means one more time. So we do not need to say one more time at the end. So secondly, if someone were to. So I think when Madhu asked the question, you mentioned if someone was to. So the correct way to say this in terms of grammar is if someone were to. And thirdly, Priya, in your evaluation, I think you meant you made an attempt, but you said you did an attempt. So the way to say it is make an attempt. And next is Lakshmi. You mentioned that you did it amazing. So the correct way is you did it amazingly. And then lastly, I really like this way that Liz mentioned about hedging all our bets on someone. I think it's a very unique way to convey her idea. However, I think I did a quick lookup on hedging our bets. It means mitigate our risk. So I think Liz meant that we need to avoid placing all our bets on someone. If we were to say hedge our bets, then we would need to say hedge our bets by not placing or believing in just one person. So that is my report today. Thank you.
Excellent job. That's a very detailed report and caught some interesting turns of phrase. So thank you very much. I'll now do a quick wrap up of the meeting from my point of view. And then we'll have time for everyone to vote on their best speaker, best table topics, and best evaluator. So I'm just putting that in your mind to think about. The meeting theme was effective women leaders. And what I really liked about the meeting is we discovered that effective women leaders can be everywhere. It's not just the woman in the CEO slot. It's some wonderful, inspiring stories that we heard this evening, starting with the leader profile of the day, talking about Jessica Cox, which was really an inspiring story for all of us, overcoming amazing adversity. So thank you, Adipa, for that. Sarah's story about communication styles, as well as Abhijit's story, which also was about communication styles, but took at it from a totally different point of view. I found that very fascinating, and they were both very good speeches. Jennifer, what a great job with this audacious audience that just wouldn't be quiet. You did a great job of interweaving their interruptions and politely asking them to join you in moving on in learning up to point 5 and made it to the end. So that was great. So thank you for that. And the table topics also brought us back to the qualities that all of us see around us that we learn from to be effective leaders. Both the questions and the sincere answers from our members were greatly appreciated. I want to thank everyone for coming this evening. I really enjoyed the speeches, and take a few minutes now to finish the poll as I turn the meeting back over to the Toastmaster of the day. Thank you so much.
Great. Thank you, Helen, and all of our speech evaluators. I will now hand control of the meeting to Renee.
Wonderful. One final table topic voting coming in. Drum roll. All right. 8 of 16 people voted. Table
Actually, if you want a drum roll, I've got a drum right here. You want it?
Yeah.
Let's do it. Yeah.
Wait a second. You guys are gonna realize how not good I am on the drums. Ready?
Woo. Yay, that's great. Awesome. Okay, so the winner of the day for the best speaker is Jennifer. Woo!
Hey! Thank you, everybody.
And the second drum roll for best evaluator is Lakshmi. Good job. And then drum roll for the last one, best table topic is Karina. Thank you, everyone. We're gonna share these results, and we're gonna have an awards and recognition column soon, so you guys get to brag about it to your friends in the future. So thank you guys, and here are the results. And let me share a couple of slides to end the meeting. Thank you for being patient with us here. All right, can you guys see my screen okay? Make sure I have audience. Okay, great. All right. Thank you all for the wonderful speeches, leader profiles, and let's end with a quote from Angela Davis. And I am no longer accepting the things I cannot change. I am changing the things I can't accept. May the change be your drive and your drive become your success. Thank you, everyone. And I'm going to audaciously try to use the next couple of minutes to talk about all of our upcoming announcements. First of all is, as always, join us on any of the social channels, Slack, Twitter, LinkedIn, Facebook. Paying members do get access to WhatsApp, where we do have a bit more of the exclusive discussion. And please reach out to Kushbu, who is our VP PR. And we are launching the next phase of our Women Lead Toastmasters webpage, womenleadtm.com. Take a look at it. There's new blogs, toolkits, about us pages, just so you get to know all of us a little bit more, and explaining how the meeting works, how to become a member. Be patient with us as we are sprinting towards the PR awards end of this month, and a couple of things are still being updated, but there's a lot of goodness already. And some of you guys in the audience that I know are visually impaired. So we decided also to tap into the new podcast opportunity. So here are some of the ways that you will be able to figure out how to listen to some of the blog posts on Spotify. By going to the blog post, if it's already activated, you can click on the little black link and then you'll be able to listen to it right away. And it's actually powered by AI. So AI is automatically reading it, and we have a voice powered by AI. So it's pretty cool. And take a look at it, and you guys can listen to many of the podcasts and blog posts. Some of them are prepared speeches. Some of them are our summary of various different workshops that you may or may not have attended. So great list of resources. And this is an eye chart, but I want to spend a couple minutes here. You are very important to us. Thank you guys so much for answering Priya and also Kushbu's request on meeting with many of you guys one-on-one. We heard your feedback, thank you, and we took some action. So here you go. About payment, more transparency. We have included an FAQ section on a webpage for you to take a closer look at the payment. And for meetings, a lot of you guys would like to know a little bit more, especially the newcomers, how does a meeting work? So take a look at how does a meeting work link on our webpage. Some of the roles clarification, we will include that every time right at the beginning of the meeting, but you can also find it on the toolbox as well, in the toolbox link. And the role sign up, members will be able to sign up for the smaller functionary roles, meaning not evaluator or the speeches, very soon. So we'll send you guys a link likely during the next meeting. Timer. there's requests hoping that you guys can actually see the timer and ping it. What you do is actually go to the timer, the 3 dots on the right top corner, and you can ping the timer yourself. This way you can actually see the timer when you are giving your portion of the speech. Timer cards, we also are sharing the timer cards in the next slide here, but anyone that wants to take on the timer role, here is the standardized timer cards. We also made it available on our toolbox as well. And next, table topics and prepared speeches. You guys love us so much and you guys want to speak more. We understand. So I would like to quickly do a poll because we have so many members and each time we only have about 4 speeches maximum. We were thinking about potentially actually make that to 6:45 to 5:15. Can you give us a yes if that's a good way to do it instead of adding in another meeting? This way, that means we have 5 minutes extra for table topics. We can have 2 more people do table topics and potentially 1 additional speech as well. Okay. Great. All right. I am at, thank you. Okay, 75% of you guys voted. Some of you guys are officers that I know, and 83% decided is a yes. So we are moving forward, 6:45 to 8:15. We'll make that reflected all on our web pages and things like that. So thank you guys so much for voting. Your opinion matters to us. All right, the next thing is virtual happy hour. Many of you guys attended the first one, absolutely loved it. A lot of you guys want it even more than once a month, but given the next announcement that's gonna happen, we decided that bi-monthly is likely the best. Virtual happy hour, bring your own booze and come enjoy some virtual games that's prepped by our Sergeant of Arms, Sarah Tang, and details and schedule you can find on the webpage as well. And this slide deck will be sent to you after the meeting. Communication, less is more. I heard you. I know you guys love me, but you guys don't want to hear from me every single week. So we decided to only send you 2 emails a month. 1 email will be everything that's coming up for that entire month. And another one is 1 newsletter that will help you summarize in case you missed a couple of the meetings and just want to see what you have missed. So we'll send you only 2 email communication. For the rest of it, just go to our webpage, go to the meeting, just so you guys can find the latest and greatest. And last but not least is the knowledge gap. You guys have requested to have more workshops. So we heard you. You guys want to know about the pathway differentiation, how do you become an effective mentor, figure out my strength and my weaknesses, and why is Toastmaster even important? Should I really focus on storytelling when I have to deliver a very dry speech at my work? How is Toastmaster going to help me? And how do I initiate a conversation in a virtual environment? I'm really shy. I don't know how to talk to a stranger. Please help me. And tips for non-native speaker as well. So every single one of these, we're going to do a workshop on Fridays, and all of them will be recorded. It will be continuation of the 2 workshops that we have already done. So I will call them the Supplementary Workshop. And those will be on top of the feature workshop, which it has been going on for a couple months. So the feature workshop is only happening once a month. So all of these will be recorded. It is not mandatory for you guys to attend, but you guys have shared with us this is what you want. So we will be here to support your dreams. And all right. So about the feature workshop, this Friday we have one on burnout. So please come. And this is a Toastmaster who have been in the industry and community for quite some time in tech as well. And her workshop is just very brilliant. I think many of us staying many hours over Zoom. This is going to be she's going to share with us some great tips. And Evelyn is actually going to be doing a vocal variety feature workshop in May. So that's our feature workshop during May. So come learn about it, get prepared for our next round of competition or just your next speech, all great as well. So she's going to be a wonderful speaker for all of us. And here is just a screenshot, as you can see, of I have April and May already all planned out for you guys. Thank you for all of the dedicated officers. We have bi-weekly regular meetings and 1 pop-up workshop and 1 bi-monthly virtual happy hour. And the Fridays are all optionals, but because you guys asked for it, so we're gonna host those workshops for you guys. So you guys go on the webpage and click on every single one of them. You'll be able to find out more about each meeting. I'm not gonna go through them in details here. All right, and now I would like to just take a minute or 2 to ask for guest feedback, and I will stop sharing screen. If you are shy and prefer not to come off camera and say a few words, you can submit it into the guest feedback link here. And thank you and good night. All right. How was the experience for you guys, our guests here? Oh, yes, Jennifer, I have a testimony about how Toastmaster helped me break into the line in the industry. Yes, please.
If it's all right, and I wanted to share this with everybody because everyone has been so gracious with your very sweet comments, but then also too for the guests. I hope I was not off-putting. I hope I didn't intimidate anybody, because when I attended my first Toastmasters meeting about 4 years ago, woo, I was shaken. I was shaken. But I want to just tell you something that was really a game changer for me. And this is a true testimonial as to why Toastmasters is so awesome. It was because of table topics. A lot of us think that it's the prepared speeches that are the thing that it's gonna make us or break us, but it was table topics. I had an opportunity to be on a podcast of the #1 radio show for the automotive repair industry. And we had a great interview. That part was easy. And then he said, you know what, Jen, you're so good. Could you do a rant? I said, a rant? What do you mean? He goes, yeah, could you go on for 7 minutes talking about what's important to you and why? It's unscripted. You just do it. And I'm thinking, oh, but you know what? Table topics and the ability to think on my feet allowed me to put up one of the best rants he's ever had on his program. And I've gotten business and teaching across the country because of that. So there you go. Join Toastmasters, please. It's worth it.
Thank you, Jennifer. Karina, how was your experience?
Yeah, it was really great. So I guess it's about time that I uncover a little secret. I am a fellow Toastmaster.
Oh.
So everything that Jennifer is saying is really deeply resonating. I remember when I first joined Toastmasters, I was in that same boat. I remember sitting at the edge of my seat during table topics, praying that I would not get called on. But I have since really realized how much it really helped me, right? For instance, recently I had a conversation with somebody, and of course, she threw some questions at me that there's no way I could have anticipated them, but I do feel that through my work, through table topics, it really prepared me. She kind of put me on the spot and said, okay, well, I want to figure out how your mind works. And she essentially asked me to share with her what topics I would ask a panel, for instance, and I had to just do it in a drop of a dime. And I was really proud of myself. I mean, I was just listening intently on what she was saying, just trying to gather some more information, and I was able to showcase what I've learned in Toastmasters. And yeah, I love the energy here. So it's been really great. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you, Karina. Thanks for stopping by. Liz, how was your experience?
Oh my gosh, I love you guys. Great energy. You have the most impressive website and lineup of any Toastmasters I've ever seen, bar none. You guys have your own personal branding in the background. You have like live music to set the stage. Bravo. You guys really should be proud of this initiative. It's really dialed. I also really just can relate to everything you said, both Jennifer and Karina. It was actually a failed podcast experience that propelled me into Toastmasters in the first place. I have yet to go on one. It still terrifies me, but I have set my eyes on a TED Talk stage. So that is me facing my biggest fear more than anything. So I will get there. Together we will help me get there, and I will help you get where you need to go. And yeah, I'm impressed. I'm happy to be here. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing with us your thoughts. Anyone else? I know we have seen actually the rest of you guys a couple times already, so that's great. Awesome. All right. Well, I will officially adjourn the meeting, and some of the officers will stay around. And for the rest of you guys, we'll see you in our next meeting, hopefully Friday, 12 to 1, the decompress burnout session. Thank you guys. Have a great evening.
Bye, everyone.